the first blockchain-based saliva DNA extraction kit, with the mission to allow users to own and control their biosamples and their residual data. Because I saw this problem that obviously our personal data is being abused, and the most sensitive data that we have is our DNA. So the thing is that wherever, if you are participating as a patient or as a user, once you submit your biosample, the patient is out of the equation. It loses the engagement to their biological property, as we call it. Usually these testing companies sells this information or even the samples to big pharma or third parties. And although this is legal, we think there's a better alternative to do this, because this is done by a sub-licensable worldwide royalty-free license to use your DNA up to 100 years in some cases. So our product is literally based on two things. The first one is the kit that uses non-fungible tokens. We're using the standard in Ethereum, the ERC-721. Right now is really popular in the crypto art space and collectibles. So basically we make these saliva tubes a collectible, and we invite the users to create a wallet where this NFT is referenced. So we don't use any email or any phone number or name in these kits. It's only the cryptographic wallet that controls the access and the flow of these saliva tubes. So you can literally send these kits to the laboratory. Your data will be tokenized, so it'll be recognized as a fingerprint, and it'll be controlled by you. Basically, here's how it works. When the kit arrives, the person will create the wallet, spit in the tube, and send it to the laboratory. Of course, the wallet is also paired with a data secure room where the laboratory will deposit the data. We also are producing the COVID-19 traveler passport, because these saliva samples are also used for COVID-19 test. So if somebody has the curiosity to scan with their phones this QR code, please, you'll be able to see one of our demo QR codes that basically are used to travel or to enable travelers. So as you go through the QR code, you can see that it has my name. It's a PCR test. It's negative, and it lives in the phone.
Just to let you know, your 4 minutes is up.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so this is our traction. Our business model is $25 per kit, and we charge $2 to $5 per traveler certification. We just made a crowdfunding campaign for 64K in Republic last year. Right now we are in WeFounder. This is our team. We're based in California, and we are being global right now. Thank you very much. Sorry for taking a little bit more.
Hey, Daniel, thanks for that. Really love this value proposition here. What do we need to take action? So like, I've got my like DNA, NFT token, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And it's data as an asset, right? Let's say for the human being, but I would need like labs, research facilities, drug companies to be able to take that token, right? And actually do something with it if I was going to monetize on it, like my own data. Beyond being a COVID passport, which I see a total like use case for, but how will the use cases come to life without sort of like the rest of the world coming on board?
Yes, no, thank you for the question. So this is still our first customer. We are a B2B solution. So Somos Kit is the first company to develop this, to offer this in the California market. This is for Latino community, and it helps you to know your ancestry from pre-Hispanic, right? If you're Mayan, Aztec, and so on. So the token is a permission token. The participants in our chain never loses ownership of your data. We believe that DNA has always it has to remain with the person, right? It's a human right. So the person using the wallet can issue tokens, permission tokens, to researchers to access the data, so they can produce, like, for instance, this ancestry map. The token is revocable. Of course, Somos is also a biobank, so they invite after the ancestry map to stay with them. So it's a kind of staking the genomic data in exchange, as we were saying, of rewards. Maybe it's a coffee, maybe it's a portion of Bitcoin, we don't know. But at the end of the day, we provide a wallet so the researcher can interact with their donors in a pseudo-anonymity kind of way.
So how do you get the penetration that's already been done by like the 23andMe, the Ancestries? Those guys have already, hit the market to a certain degree, right? It would be a matter of partnering with those folks and saying, hey, we're offering a token which actually gives the end user ownership over their data, right?
Correct. Yeah, we would love to partner with those kind of companies to scale, because right now the sales dropped a lot. I believe they just touched the maximum amount of growth because of privacy concerns. Mm-hmm. So if any of these companies wants to hit the 100 million kind of threshold, we believe it's got to be through decentralization of the ownership. People is not trusting anymore in these kind of companies. But you're right. We're going to offer in the next few months the tokenization service, where through the privacy laws, we'll be able to reclaim those data from the companies that already have it, because this data is really easy to identify if you share a small portion, and we call them snips, right? So usually these companies have 700,000 snips. Well, only with 96 you can locate your data, and through the privacy laws you will be able to reclaim and say, hey, I want to delete, or whatever the right of the data law might be.
When you say be able to track the data, are you, I understand it as like my primary source when I've handed it to you, right? But am I able to track this across other instances where I may not have already realized I've handed my data out? Let's say if I've already done this with a doctor, or if I've already done 23andMe, right, and I want to be able to see how this stuff's being used. Is there an opportunity to cross track with your tech?
It depends on the data law. The federal data law, it seems, is going to come in 2022, and it depends on how many times you can knock on the door of each company to ask if they have data from you, right? Mm. That right, at least in the GDPR in Europe, it's 2 times a year, and you can send a request, and they have 72 hours to respond back. Usually there's no way to track genetic data, because there's not such a company like us, like providing this service, because usually they track your email or your name or other personal information. Now the service we will be able to give is to give this small sample that is small enough not to violate your privacy, but it's small enough to locate your data set in a de-anonymized, or de-identified database of genomic data.
And when you say knocks on the healthcare providers or whoever has this,
it's an email.
To an extent, that still feels self-reported. Whereas like with this, it feels like it's almost candid. Like I get to see this as people are using it in real time, as people are requesting access to something that would include my data when I'm using Genome Bank. Is there an opportunity to be able to, across the board, start to have some way of candidly tracking any way of, I don't know, seeing my health data being used or requested using your tech?
Yes, the idea is to empower the user, right? Because at the end of the day, these NFTs are taking as proof of ownership, right? That's an ongoing debate, right? That's not solved. But that Genome Bank is trying is that once you have your NFT and you can prove it's yours because you're the source of this biological information all the time, you will be able to prove cryptographically that you have the right to claim to the companies based on data law, on data regulations, if they have a portion of your data. And if they do, they'll have to either allow you to edit, delete it, or just reconsent if you're okay by them having your information for another period of time.
Oh,
Hey, I'm gonna have to cut you guys off there.
Sorry.
But, great questions. Thank you very much, Daniel. Great pitch. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm sure you guys can look after.
yep.
Thank you.